Hey, Gloria Dei Mentors, welcome to the GDLC Youth Office Studios. This is your July 2014 update, your first video update, and I'm just doing this because I can. So thank you for watching. I'm going to give you the rundown of the update that I'm doing in our Constant Contact e-blast. I want you to have some very important dates that are coming up. It is good for you to have these in advance because I don't anticipate them changing, and I want you to be helping us with our leadership this year with our students. Primarily, families will receive communication from both me and you. So anything you can do to help relay information that I'm sending you, probably on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, bi-monthly, bi-weekly, every other week. That would be really helpful if you could pass it along to families just to make sure they're not missing anything. I'm switching mostly to constant contact information this year. I just think it's helpful for me to organize my thoughts. And as you can see behind me, I need a lot of help with organization. Actually, I'm pretty good at it. Okay. It's a great time to be in ministry with young people, and I have had a blast this summer getting to know some of our youth. We've done a variety of activities. VBS was awesome. We had a couple summer serve events, and we're doing some grill and chills for our 9th through 12th graders and even some younger party crashers who I'm very happy showed up. Inside of the email that I am sending you, you're going to get a link to Dropbox, which will bring you to a folder which will have some dates and calendars and information that you should probably print off and have at home to begin your successful mentoring relationship. If you're a new mentor with 9th grade student, or if you're a returning 10th grade mentor and you're in the final stretch this year, there's some big changes we've made. And so I'm going to try to run through those as quick as I can here and save some of your precious time for other things besides me. This is how it goes. On the 17th of September, we're going to kick off our ministry year here at 6:30, and mentors should attend with your mentee. We're going to have separate orientation events for 7th grade, 8th grade, and then we're going to put our 9th and 10th graders together for orientation. Parents will attend with their student, and so a student in 9th and 10th grade has a mentor, so they should attend with their parents and their mentor. I'm going to try to make really good use of that hour. You're going to do some refresher get-to-know-me stuff, some family mixers, and you'll hear about our scope of the year. I will visit each meeting as I'm able to, but you'll also be meeting with our pastors that night, and I hope to launch everybody on a successful adventure of ministry this year. So plan on being here. That's kind of a must-do. Dinner will be at 5:45 as it always is, so you can come and get caught up to at that time. $5, good food. Next one, 10th graders. We have your retreat early. Boop, right there. This year, it's on Saturday, October 3rd. It is a Credo retreat. Let me explain what that is. This is one of our biggest changes that we are transitioning into making. In the past, you are probably aware that we had a paper faith statement report that was due at the end of a student's 10th grade year to synthesize and summarize all of everything that a student believes and is processing, and even some of their doubts and questions about God stuff and the church and things like that. We are going to keep a lot of the assignments that went into that faith statement, but what we're doing is transitioning into more of a visual display that we can leave out for a week or two for the congregation to get to look at, and helping students make their faith personal but also more public is one of our most important values in youth ministry, that we help students articulate what they believe. We're bringing it out of that private nature of thinking maybe I'm not so sure about any of this, but hoping to have, after 4 years of confirmation ministry, students be able to say, I believe, with confidence. Credo means I believe. And so picture kind of a sort of a science fair thing with some visual displays on card tables. We're not making students do any type of an oral presentation where they have to, like, everybody sits and watches them. Some churches do that. Some churches find a lot of value in that. I don't think that's where we need to go. I'm open to conversation about that, as everything else. But we're going to have students assemble a credo project, and it's going to take a couple months to do this. That's why we need to move that retreat, which is called the Faith Statement Retreat, as early as we possibly can, so that you as a mentor can start to work with them on some guided activities. During that credo retreat, which you attend with your mentee as a 10th grader, I'm just talking to the 10th graders, but 9th graders, you have this next year, we're going to do a whole bunch of group activities. These are not things that are easy to do if you're not at the retreat. So I've had students say, I'm not coming. What can I do to make it up? And it's really hard to make it up. It's going to be about 8:30 to 3:30 that day. It's a fast-paced day with a lot of variety of activities. We're going to feed you lunch, and it's going to be worth it. And you're going to need to be there to get your credo projects launched. After that, there's a series of deadlines that we're going to ask students to use as mile markers to pace themselves. This is not something, if you're going to do it with quality, that you're going to be able to do in the last month before this is due. So I'll give you more information about that. It's going to be better explained in a handout. I'm going to give you that in advance. Families are going to get that in advance, and we're going to talk about it in person at the kickoff night. But it's really important that you know that that's coming up and get that date. Now, if there's some reason that a majority of our families cannot get to that retreat, there's a couple other options that I might throw out there, but I really want to try to get as many of that grade to that one day, because our pastors can be there and it'll be the most effective thing to do that together. So I've had some questions about this transition and the change that's coming. Great questions about the opportunity just to keep their statements private between them and a pastor. I'd like to talk about that in person with you, and I'd love for us to get to the place as a ministry where students are so excited to talk about Jesus and their developing relationship with God. I think it's so important. I think this is going to move us in that direction, and it's also going to help students who aren't really good at putting things into words, maybe to put some things down visually. You'll see when you get the assignment, I'm going to call it an assignment, some of it's going to be pretty easy, and it'll probably help your faith develop as well. So let me know if you have questions about that or concerns after you look over the materials. And then you'll have the deadlines to help you meet all that other kind of stuff. So that's coming up. In March, our 9th graders go on their spirituality retreat, and mentors are not required to do that. It's a Friday and a Saturday. It's just an overnight. Just so your 9th grade leaders know, to remind your students, this is a great retreat. The students that went on the spirituality retreat last year, your 10th graders, a lot of them went, not all of them, but I had great reviews about that retreat and the things that they used to develop their faith. It's one of the only times we really break out of the cognitive development and we start getting in touch with some of the stuff inside of our souls. So that's a great retreat, and I'll give you details on the location and costs and stuff coming up. Lent it be. Lent is very early this year. So that means our program year is kind of shrunk. Ash Wednesday is February 18th, and Easter is April 5th. So that means a lot of things for us. But just so you know, I've had some mentors confused in the past. We want mentors to meet with their mentee during Lent. I know it's a long ways away, but I want you to block off those 5 weeks to be together. We come together for soup suppers. I give you some discussion sheets, and then we meet for worship at 7 o'clock, usually done around 7:30. Invaluable time. Really want you there. I'm thinking of doing some changes this year with the soup suppers. It's too early in my year to try to sketch that out yet, but I've got some ideas, and I'm interested if people have different ideas other than the soup supper discussions, such as joining a regular book club with the rest of the church or things like that. So let me know if you have ideas about that, but please block off Lent to be here with your person. Oh, I'd like to meet you in person. A lot of mentors I've met in person, but I'd like to get to know you a little bit better, so we're going to meet after church one of these days. If you can please be there at one of those sessions. I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible, but I just want to be able to answer any of your questions about our ministry year, the changes that are coming. and the transitions we're using to do that. It'd be really helpful if I could have a little bit of your time and meet you in person. Technology is great. You know I love technology. I have a lot of it. I engage a lot of technology, but I don't want to have everything we do just be over a screen. So if you can't make one of these dates, I know that last one is Labor Day, but I'm here, so let's set up a time where I can just meet you for 20 minutes or so just to catch up and pray with you and things like that. It'd be really important to me. If we can do that together, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I am supposed to tell you about. Oh well, I'll figure it out. I'll send out some more videos like this during the year. Please let me know what you find is helpful. I am praying for your ministry this year. I really am. I'm praying that the Spirit works through each one of us, that the Spirit grows our faith, and that we come closer together as a community. The last thing I want to let you know, my biggest challenge this year that I need people's help with, beyond curriculum development, beyond lessons, beyond explaining why we do this in 4 years, beyond getting kids here for acolyting and all that kind of stuff, is I want to see our students grow in their peer relationships, their friendship connections, and our family friendship connections. I think that's one of the key missing ingredients to what we do here in ministry. I've noticed that there is a deficit of student interactions. A lot of kids come from so many different schools, and it would be helpful if we could get to know one another in person. So we're going to do more emphasis here on building friendships among the students and among our families too. And I think if we can start working more intentionally on that, the other parts of the ministry, the God stuff, the sharing our faith stories, the serving together will come together naturally. But we're going to work harder on becoming friends this year. We got to do it. And I've got some ideas, but I'd love more of them. So that's long enough for me to talk at you. I'm really glad you watched this, if you did. Otherwise, I'll just watch it. It'd be wonderful. Let me know how I can pray for you personally, please, and any challenges you have in your ministry with your mentoring. And also, we need a few more mentors for our 9th grade class. I'd love to have a bench of leaders waiting, maybe that aren't connected personally with a family here. College students or grandmas and grandpas or empty nesters or whatever. So if you know people that would love to be a mentor, I want to talk to them in my messy office. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you, and we will talk in person soon.